Dr. Susan Orenstein, she's a psychologist and a relationship expert who founded Orenstein Solutions, which is a family counseling center in Cary. Now, let's just talk about this. I've got a wife, a mother, a daughter, a mother-in-law, a grandma, Yaya. I've got 2 sisters, 2 aunts, 4 nieces. I mean, it seems like everybody in my family is a woman. And my first question for you, why in the world can't women get along?
And my first question for you is, how are you surviving?
There's me and my son and my father-in-law, and that's pretty much it. It's crazy.
Yes.
I mean, what is it about the relationship between a mother and a woman that's so challenging and so tumultuous?
I think women do have more complicated relationships than men. That doesn't mean they can't be really warm and nurturing and rich, but at the same time, they can be more complicated and there are more landmines.
I used to try to intervene more and offer advice, and now I just stay out of it. You know, is that the best thing for men to do?
I think so. And I think you owe it to your spouse to be a support to her without getting in the middle. And so how do you do that? That can be really tricky. But I think just being in the role of listening and support can be immensely helpful. You don't need to get in the middle.
Even if you disagree with what your wife thinks or your girlfriend thinks, should you say you disagree, or should you just be there just to strictly listen so that they can get it out? What serves the better purpose?
I would hope that people have a relationship that can withstand true input and true feedback, so that you could tell your girlfriend or your wife, gosh, I hear what you're saying. I hear that's upsetting to you. I have a different take on it. Can I tell you? And they may not be open to that, and so that's when you need to keep your mouth shut.
That's always a great advice. When it comes to do's and don'ts, what are some of the do's and don'ts that women should do to try to have stronger relationships with other women in their families?
Okay. For number 1, don't create teams. So I think it's a danger when women try to bring allies on their team, because what happens is it always backfires. If you set up any relationship where there's somebody who wins and somebody loses, everybody's going to lose.
That's a good point. What other don'ts should you avoid when it comes to this?
Okay. So I don't know if you remember the game Password, where people play and let's say the answer is apple. So you say red, fruit, Eve, and you hope the person guesses it. That's not a good game to play in any kind of relationship. So don't play Password. If you're upset with your mother-in-law or your sister about something in particular, don't hint around. Don't use sarcasm. Don't hope they can read your mind. Just say, look, something's bothering me. I really need to talk to you about it. It's the apple.
Should you also talk to other people in your family to try to get their perspective?
I think that's dangerous.
It is?
I think it's dangerous because we're going back to creating sides. And so if you involve other people, it gets really complicated. People have loyalties. People feel like you're talking behind their back. That's where it helps really to bring in a third party, like a therapist, a relationship expert who isn't part of the picture and can be objective and give some new ideas.
That's a great idea. And some of the big things that you can do really quickly to foster that relationship, should you just be calm and express yourself very explicitly about your feelings?
Yes, yes. It goes a really long way to keep your voice calm, to keep your body language calm. If you enter a relationship and your arms are crossed or your fists are clenched, people are going to read that. And so try to check in with your body, your voice, make sure that you're using a calm, non-threatening tone. That will go far.
And mothers and daughters, they usually have a lot in common, so if they kind of get back into what makes them a lot alike, like find things that make them come together, that's probably a good idea too, right?
And generally what I found in my own life, it's such a connector when you have a mutual fan club of your kids, so that everybody can go watch Little Sally's ballet show or Johnny's soccer program. That really brings people together.
That's a great idea.
You're part of the same fan club when you have kids and grandkids together.
Thank you so much for coming in here today.
It's a pleasure.
If you want to find out more information about Dr. Orenstein, or you can set up a session and visit OrensteinSolutions.com.